Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sub-Auteurs. My name is Mai.
All right.
And apparently, I'm alone.
No, I was waiting for the man in
No. Okay. In my defense, it's weird now because we're on video. We can be seen. This is very different now.
Which gives you
I lost my
excuse.
rhythm.
It's no excuse.
He
I can
did
literally
not bring
see
his
you guys.
A game.
It's
You can literally
Did not
confusing.
see
bring his
each
A game
other.
tonight.
But anyway, yes. Let's do that again. I'm Mai.
I'm Misha.
And I'm Andrew.
There you go. So today we have a very special episode. So we're not going to be talking about a particular movie or a particular set of movies, but we are going to go through Misha's special adventures for when he went to the United States in around June or July. If we have that down pat, yeah, we had a little bit of hiatus thanks to Misha. Just kidding. No, not
I was gone. I was gone long enough to make myself poor.
Well, we were able to record an episode when he was in Cincinnati.
That is true. We did Jurassic World Dominion, and I am still apologizing to my family for dragging them to watch it.
But yes.
It's like we see you once every 5 years, and this is what you take us to see.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's in Cincinnati anyway, so.
Oh. But yes,
I don't know.
as if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, well, you might be only experiencing this episode half of what we intended because we are actually recording a video right now. And if you do want to enjoy both the visual and the audio aspect of things, head on over to the description box of wherever you're listening to this podcast from and check out the YouTube link that we will be sharing there. So, you know, it's not going to be fun if we don't give you guys a visual reference. And Misha went to a lot of places that Anja and I were like extremely jealous of. Like a lot of movie nerd stuff that we wish we could also experience firsthand. But since we can't, and just in case you guys want to, you know, join in on Misha's little cuento on what was going on during his tours, or if you need ideas on things to add to your itinerary just in case you're going to go to the US, well, this episode is for you.
Legit. It's like, a post-COVID tour planning thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. To be fair, since I did go to a few places, I went to places where movies were shot. I went to a few museums. I went to historical sites and all those things. There was just a lot of different things. So I thought that the best way to start it off was by showing you one of the best examples that had a little bit of everything. So what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is my tour of the Warner Brothers Studios, which I hope you guys have fun, seriously. Because they're like the biggest movie studio in the world that's not named Disney. And there is just so much good stuff to see there.
Look, I have a Batmobile.
Wow.
I like that you came prepared.
It's like the Warner Brothers studio tour. So I had to have a Batmobile with me.
I have nothing. I don't know what I can show off doing show and tell.
I get 10 points tonight.
Okay.
My Batmobile's bigger than yours.
I don't want to know.
Oh, you want to go there, huh? Hold on.
Not today when we have video, please. Of all days that we actually have our video.
Wait.
Oh my God!
No! What the hell, man?
This is what I didn't want for big.
Now, I'm just going to say that belongs to his son, and we're supposed to believe him. For those of you who are not watching this, Anjo just released a giant Batmobile.
Why?
Why?
This is why we never considered video episodes up until today, because all you two are going to do is just like show off your fucking toys. And you're going to actually see while we're recording, while someone else is talking, one of you is just going to be playing with one of your toys on screen. My God.
I'm the nice one.
Okay.
Sure.
So shall we get on with this? Let's hand over the mic to Misha.
Okay. So, the Warner Brothers studio is in Burbank, California, and they have a really good studio tour. Not every studio has a tour, and some of the ones that do aren't that good. They shall remain nameless, but I went on this trip alone. I went to Warner Brothers, Sony, Universal Studios, and Paramount. Fox used to have one before the pandemic, but they've ceased to continue it when Disney bought them out, apparently. And that's a shame because they've also done a lot of good things. But Warner Brothers holds a special place in many movie fans' hearts because it's the home of a lot of classic movies, from historical epics, gangster dramas, science fiction, superhero stuff, and animation.
Space Jam. Sorry,
Yes.
I just had to.
It's
The cinematic,
true, though.
the cinematic masterpiece that is Space Jam.
Historical epic. Space Jam.
Gangster drama, Space Jam.
Um,
Sports biopic, Space Jam.
What? Bugs Bunny can be a champion too.
It's the true story of how Michael Jackson gave up baseball.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Michael Jackson. What?
Moving on.
I'm glad
Okay.
people can
All right,
finally
let's go.
see the face I usually make around these two.
Okay, so Warner Brothers Studio Tour. I'm starting you guys up with the Studio Tour logo, and first up, I'm gonna show you. The world famous Warner Brothers water tower.
Are
Now,
the
here's
Animaniacs gonna come out of that?
I wanted them to, and hopefully someday they upgrade it because it doesn't actually hold water anymore. It's more of a. I mean, it used to, like in the 20s and 30s, back when they started. But water systems have gotten better, even though California has no water to share with anyone, not even themselves. But the tower can be seen for miles around, so they just never took it down, even if they don't use it anymore. I like to think the Animaniacs are living in there.
I
But
was kind of thinking, I was going to ask if Bugs Bunny drank from that water tower. So, but,
it is entirely possible. He's been around for a while.
yes.
Okay. So this is a shot from the outside. This is just the facade outside, and you can tell that they're already giving you a flex, okay? You got your Harry Potter guys up on the left, your DC superheroes in the middle. You have Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart up on the right, telling Sam to play it again. And you got the tagline, Hollywood made here. And, you can't argue with that. I mean, it's Warner Brothers. Everything they do, most of the things they do turn out iconic in one way or another. There was some controversy when this design was unveiled a couple of years ago because people were wondering where Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill were.
It's kind of stupid because they're clearly not the most iconic Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we harp on Zack Snyder, I can't argue with that, really. For many people, these two are the most iconic iterations of these characters. Michael Keaton's coming back in the Flash movie, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what's coming next. This is the lobby where you enter, you register, you have to get your tickets online so that you have your slot. They run out really fast. So if you're planning a trip, just go to the website, get your tickets well in advance. They have a lot of tour packages. The one that we took, which is the basic one, it's supposed to last 3 hours, but in the end, my mother and I took 5 hours basically because we just stopped to look at everything.
I have to go on the studio tour with you then.
You do, you really do, because they have the basic 3 hour tour has like an hour and a half long part where you ride a tram with a tour group, and then there are parts where you're self-guided, where you can walk through the exhibits at your own pace. You can look at props, you can look at costumes, look at sets, and that's what actually took up a lot of our time because we wanted to see everything, we wanted to take pictures with everything. My mom and I, we were big kids through all of this, and it was just fun.
My question is how advanced? Like, let's say you will go online now. How long until you actually can get into the tour? Like, how long before you get to book some?
I think like a
schedule.
week, 2 weeks
Okay.
should be safe. Just don't do it like the night before because there's no way.
Okay.
Or if you're gonna do it the night before, make sure like you're the only one because it's the only way you'll get a slot.
Gotcha. So at least, I guess a week is safe. A week before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Noted.
So like, here's the waiting area where you join your tour group. they have a little mock-up of the studio itself. If you look at the 3 studio buildings on the bottom and you look at the floor beneath it, it's supposed to represent the actual layout of the lot.
Mm.
So it's like
That's
an
kind of-
overhead view.
Interesting.
Can you act
And,
like a kaiju around those things?
Kind of,
Yeah, I'm
sort of,
just
yeah.
curious.
So this is
Did
where you wait
you?
for all the late. This is where you wait for all the latecomers and for all the silly Filipinos who may or may not be finishing off their Starbucks that you're not supposed to bring on the tour. This is where you wait before you go inside.
I have a question though. Were you one of those silly Filipinos?
You can't prove that. If you look there, if you look at that soundstage at the back, the one that looks like it's got some buttresses. Yes, that's a word. It's
What?
bigger
What?
for
Wait.
a reason. A lot of these sound stages are the same size, but that one is stage 16 and it's bigger for a reason. I'll get to that later.
Okay.
So, yeah, the water tower is here because it's iconic and it really overlooks everything. And there it is. There's a closer shot of stage 16. And moving on.
It's really cool. I have one
Okay.
question. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, go for it.
You're not allowed to go up the water tower, right? It's not part of the attraction.
Why do you want to go up the
It's
water
just-
tower? What is wrong with you?
No, because you said it overlooks everything, and I think the view would have been nice.
Now that you mention it, yes,
Yeah,
I
that's a good
suppose it
point.
would be. No,
What? I mean,
we
come
drove
on.
past it. We drove past it, okay? We drove
Okay,
past
so I
it.
guess
We
it's
looked
not
up
part
at
of
it, but we didn't
it.
climb it. But yeah, that actually kind of
Okay.
would be cool now that you mention it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it.
Um,
Okay,
the-
moving on.
Okay, moving on. The thing about like Hollywood studio lots is that a lot of people don't necessarily know is that even if this is the Warner Brothers lot, anybody can rent space on it to shoot. So like any of the sound stages that they have can be used by Disney, by Fox, by Sony. Anybody can rent from anybody else. They can rent space, they can rent costumes, they can rent props, and this is one of the first buildings on the tour. And just to give you an idea of how they use everything on the lot, what would you say this building is? Like if you had to see, you saw this in a movie, what would you think it is?
It looks like a university of some sort, or maybe an office.
Michael Jordan's gym.
Okay. I hate how
Space
close. I hate how close Anjo is because this building actually was used for video game camp like Space Jam 2.
Space Jam.
I hate you so much.
That's the Space Jam.
Shut up.
Space Jam.
No, but seriously, okay, yeah, this is right before they talk to Bugs Bunny. But seriously, just to show you how nothing is wasted in a movie studio, this building basically has some offices on the inside, but it has doubled for everything from a hospital to video game camp and Space Jam, if that's actually a thing. I don't know.
I mean,
the
it's
police
that
station.
basic facade, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
I mean-
it's not
Yep.
ugly. It's not, too basic for,
Yep.
I mean, it's flexible.
It's even
Like, I
been,
I
it's
could
been
even say
used
it's
as
a
like-
building in Ateneo or something. I don't know.
Oh my God, Ateneo. Okay. Pwede rin.
She just had to get that in there, right? It's like, I went to Harvard.
I'm not from Ateneo. I'm not from Ateneo.
But yeah, I mean,
Obviously, I'd call it the Ateneo if I did.
ooh, moving on. So
Moving on.
this building has been used as like the police station on that TV series, The Rookie with Nathan Fillion. It's been used as hospitals. It's been used as
Oh.
evil tech corporations. And for some reason, somebody thought it would be a good idea to make it video game camp of LeBron's kid in Space Jam 2. So yeah, good call, Anjo. Space Jam.
When in doubt,
This is an example of a New York street. The New York streets in Warner Brothers are iconic because you've seen them in 100 different movies, even if you don't realize it, because it's kind of expensive. California is on the left side of the country. It's on the West Coast. New York's on the East Coast, but they have a lot of shows that are set in New York. Like, for example, Friends, which never actually shot in New York unless they had to be shown at specific landmarks.
Like the fountain in the opening billboard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was done on the Warner Brothers lot. And here I'm showing you an example of their iconic New York street set, which you've seen in like a bajillion movies. Now, the funny thing about New York streets in movies is they look close enough to the real thing, but they fall apart once you think about it. Because like New York is built in the shape of a grid. So 90-degree angles. Streets are perpendicular to each other. But in movies, because you only have so much space, you can't make them a perfect grid because then you'd see the end of the street. So if you look at New York streets in movies, there's always a dead end there, like you can see here, and it's at an angle. They're never going to show you the grid. It's either going to be off at an angle or it's going to curve off to the side, which you would never find in actual New York. This particular street, this is their main New York street. You've seen it, and I'm going to show you some examples. Sorry to everybody who's listening. Just have to take our word for it.
Go to YouTube.
Over there on the bottom left is where Phoebe threw a thumb at some poor person.
Oh my God. Okay.
Back in Friends. Up there is where you sing about not wanting to pay rent because,
We're not gonna pay. We're not
who's got time to pay for rent?
We're not gonna pay. Okay, sorry.
Even the streets are used for more singing about not wanting to pay rent.
Last year's rent. Anyway, sorry.
But the building here with the most...
I have a question though.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Is this the street where they were shooting a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie while shooting for?
Yes, it was. It's further down.
Multi-purpose.
And the neat thing about the street is that you can change the fire escapes, you can change the facades, you can change the lamp posts, the street signs, and you can repaint everything to match whatever period you're trying to depict. The most iconic building here, or the most history rather, is the one on the right because it was the orphanage in Annie. And there's actually a plaque dedicated to their production designer set into the sidewalk in front of it. So, that's it. That's it up on the right. Unfortunately, I covered it in my infinite wisdom. You have to take my word for it. It's behind that picture.
Nice. Good job.
No.
I think he was just too excited to be there. He was like,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
In retrospect.
Moving further down, you got your typical New York fire escapes, old school wrought iron fire escapes set into the brick. It was also used in Annie. And this little alley also has been seen in a lot of movies. This is where Spider-Man took out some goons so he could save MJ, as Mai remembers from her childhood.
Yes, this is the scene. Listen to our cinema episode for that, like back in 2020.
So
for
like
the
reference.
Tour guide,
the tour guide was telling us, like, so that little shaft there in between the two buildings, that's where they did the upside down kiss. And Tobey Maguire was miserable because it looks romantic. It looks very appealing. You're kissing the superhero. He's upside down. It's an iconic movie moment. But the poor guy has got water going into his nose the entire time. He was dying, basically.
I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm. But it looks great. Looks great on film. And if you move a little bit to the right, you'll see there's this little entryway with a short staircase and a door set into the side of the building before you get to more fire escapes. This is actually this was actually used for the poster of Purple Rain. So Prince shot there. It's just ridiculous how much use you can get out of a short chunk of fake New York street. Like, seriously, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Different moods, different time periods, different settings, and it's all in the same place.
I'm
it's
also
crazy.
thinking it looks familiar. I think it was Lady Gaga's Edge of Glory music video. She also had those like fire escape scenes and stuff.
Wouldn't put it past her. Let's see. What else do we got? Around the corner is this official government-looking building.
Is that part of the Batman 66 set?
Why, yes, it is. And it's still there. That's where they would park the Batmobile every freaking episode to find out what was stolen, who was kidnapped, what was blown up, who escaped from prison this week. This building has been through a lot. Yes, showing off your Batmobile. Good for you. But the neat thing, again, it looks big on screen. I mean, fine, it looks big in the picture too. But if you're there, you'll be surprised how small and compact everything is on the lot, on the studio lot. Because like right across the street from the city hall is that fountain that you mentioned, Mahi. This is where they shot the intro of Friends.
Yep.
They put up a fiberglass couch instead of a real one because everybody just wants to sit in it and have their picture taken, and a real couch would die if it was left outdoors all year long.
Of course. For sure.
Supposedly this is not the original location of the fountain. They just had to move it somewhere more convenient because people just kept trying to take pictures of it, and it was too disruptive.
That garden just looks like it's dying. Like there's no grass whatsoever. I'm guessing that's where everybody steps on, or everybody just runs around trying to take photos of themselves.
Yes.
Let's see. And this is what the inside of one of those buildings looks like. It's really just a facade. There's nothing there. Some of them are used for storage, but for the most part, you can't do anything with these buildings. They just have a lot of rafters and a lot of beams where you can hang stuff off of. How you can hang lights, you can hang equipment, you can use it for rigging, but no, it's not really a functional building. In fact, some of them aren't even wide enough or deep enough to be worth anything more than a storeroom, to be honest. Moving on the tour, they also actually have some buildings that are designed to be used. This one, the interior and the exterior were used in La La Land. This is the coffee shop where Emma Stone is at the very beginning of the movie.
Was it called Sage and Pine in the movie?
I genuinely don't remember what it is. But yeah, she was. They were walking through here. There was a movie shooting. They weren't hiding the fact that they were on a back lot at the beginning of La La Land. Okay, so let's see. When they want to build a facade, but it's not necessarily going to be seen really up close on camera, and you don't need people interacting with it. It's just like off in the distance. They basically cheat with these. These are just painted, honestly. And what they do is they cheat even more by playing with the perspective and playing with the shadows.
Just bokeh it up and it's good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, voila, instant backdrop to your field. And then all of that stuff takes a lot of work from hundreds of dedicated professionals. This is the paint department of Warner Brothers.
As someone has painted at the side. I assume it says paint depth right there.
I've seen like working for having shot ads, TV season ads. Like this is like even a fraction of this is like times 50 of what our PDs can. Our PDs are talented. This is just like on this.
But this is just a whole nother level. Like anything they need, it's there. They don't need to run down to the corner hardware. It's all there on site, and they build it like just custom. And they can make wood look like anything. They can make it look like marble, make it look like steel, make it look like granite. Just with paint. It's awesome. And just to give you an idea how freaking huge this department is, we're not walking.
Action.
We're not walking through this paint department. We're driving through it on our tram. It's just freaking huge.
Wow.
So we talked about the sound stages earlier, and I'm going to get to stage 16 and why it had those buttresses. Something you'll see on every soundstage is they have these plaques mounted on the outside that list down the significant productions that were shot there. So this is stage 25. If there's a particularly big production that used it for a number of years, like say some sitcom, in this case, it's The Big Bang Theory. So it got renamed to the Big Bang Theory stage. So that's stage 25. You can see it's constructed in 1935, and it's got a whole bunch of different movies that have shot there. So there's a lot of history in every single one of these buildings, and that's something I really appreciated at Warner Brothers, and that they respect their history, they celebrate it, and they preserve it. So you can see where iconic productions were made. Even see the props and the costumes, and we'll get to that.
There's room for growth, I see. It's like 3 columns for each. I wonder if they update the plaques.
They do.
As the years. Yeah,
but they said that they don't list every single movie or every single show that uses it, just the significant ones.
Iconic ones.
The ones that made them money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, who wants to remember the fourth Matrix movie?
Nobody.
But if you want to reminisce about it, we do have an episode, so check it out wherever you're listening to your podcasts.
Segue.
Thanks, I worked hard. So this is the stage where the Big Bang Theory was shot. This is the Friends stage next door, stage 24.
Yeah.
So it's got the
What
logo
do they
on
do
it.
with it now? Since it's been ages since
They
Friends?
are shooting Fuller House, which apparently occupied stage 24 before Friends took over it in 1994, 93.
Oh.
And the joke is that when Fuller House took over stage 24 again to be to do their shooting, to shoot their new series, John Stamos actually came outside and posted a piece of paper on top of the sign, on top of the French stage. He put the Full House stage. He covered it up.
You were here first, bitch.
I know, right? Petty. When they say do not enter when red lights are on, closed set, they really mean it. They actually took us inside a soundstage. We went on the set of the sitcom The Goldbergs, but we weren't allowed to shoot anything. The only reason we were allowed inside was because no active shooting was happening at the time, but you're not allowed to take pictures or video. When I went to Sony, we went onto the stage of Wheel of Fortune, and yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. I was just geeking out. I'm like, oh, it's the wheel. I want to touch it, but they don't let you touch it.
Oh, boo.
But if there's actual shooting, they won't let you in. And you'll know there's actual shooting happening because there's a red light next to the door that goes on. Nobody's allowed to open the door going in or out when that's happening. So, like
If
on the
you
Sony lot,
do you get fired?
or yeah, or thrown out of the lot. Like when we were at Sony, they were shooting
Maybe.
Jeopardy. So we couldn't go in. That's why we went to Wheel of Fortune across the street.
Oh.
And the tour guides have to be updated every day on what's shooting so they know what they can show us.
So you wouldn't jeopardize the shooting of Jeopardy.
Even like when we were on the tram and we were driving past sound stages where the doors were open and you could peek inside. Like we saw the penthouse from the morning show. We saw Jennifer Aniston's penthouse. It's just inside a soundstage. We weren't allowed to take pictures of it because they were prepping it for shooting the new season. So yeah,
I
they
love
take
that
it
show.
very
This is
seriously.
also that's also for them to prevent leaks from happening because in the age of the internet,
For sure, for
stuff
sure.
gets stuff can get leaked out so easily
And
now.
I don't even think it's just story points. Like even production design, you don't want somebody to
Yeah.
see how you're designing, your spaceship or your living room or
exactly.
whatever. Okay. Now here's stage 16, the one that I mentioned earlier. Look at those buttresses. Buttress.
You're a
Anyways,
buttress guy, huh?
so if you look at the sound stage, look how much bigger it is, how much taller it is from the one next to it, the one on the left.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for that is back in the 30s, Marion Davies, the not entirely talented mistress of William Randolph Hearst, the subject of Citizen Kane, she was shooting a big musical comedy with dance numbers and big production numbers and she wanted crazy ass crane shots. And she wanted a tank.
A tank?
So she wanted a tank for swimming scenes. And she went to the head of
I was thinking like an army tank.
I was on the same wavelength as Mai right there.
I was
Just
like,
a
what?
tank.
What the fuck do you need
Why?
a tank for?
Okay,
musical?
Okay,
to be fair, now I
okay,
want to see a
get it.
musical war movie.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay,
hoping for.
fine.
But I get it. Okay, like tank for you to swim
Yeah.
in. Okay,
So
got
Marion
it.
Davies was shooting Cain and Mabel with Clark Gable, and she went to the head of the studio, Jack
Mabel
Warner.
and Gable.
I know, right? The head of the
I
studio
know,
said,
I thought about that too.
head of the studio is like, I'm not gonna like rebuild my soundstage and make it bigger for you. What the hell? So she bypassed him and went to William Randolph Hearst, the real life Citizen Kane, and she asked him for a bigger studio. And he told Jack Warner to make it bigger because he was a producer on the movie, so Warner couldn't say no. And they ended up raising the studio 39 feet. It is not...
Jesus.
Here's the thing. The soundstage was already built. It had been there since the 20s. but it would be too much trouble to rip the roof off, raise the walls, and build a new roof.
To raise the roof. Sorry.
They literally did it.
Yeah, they did. So what they did was, you know how it is when you get car maintenance done? Instead of adding to the top, they decided to add to the bottom by raising it 1 foot at a time.
Ooh. Okay.
And basically, they were able to raise it 39 feet. That is
Jesus Christ.
back in the 30s, which is ridiculous. As you can see,
insane.
back then it was soundstage number 7. It wasn't yet 16, but now it.
What a pain in the buttress.
Oh my God. For many years, this was the largest soundstage. It became the largest soundstage in the world because in addition to raising it, they also dug a tank, not a swimming tank, a water tank, not a war tank. They dug a tank for all the musical swimming numbers that she just had to have in her movie. And just to give you an idea of the scale of this place, so that's a shot of the tank. It can hold 2.3 million gallons of water.
Oh my God.
Yep. So they shot the perfect storm there, basically, among other things.
Oh,
They
perfect.
put George Clooney's boat in there so they could kill him. They shot the drag race from Rebel Without a Cause in there. That's how big it is. It's just how ridiculously, freakishly big on the inside of this soundstage.
Oh wow.
They shot the horse race scene from My Fair Lady in there. Again, ridiculously large. They shot Jurassic Park in there because they had the space for it. They shot the ending of Ghostbusters.
Wow.
And the set for the temple was so freaking big, they could only shoot it from the outside with the doors open. Because even if it was one of the biggest stages in Hollywood, they still used up every inch of space. They built Gotham City there for Batman Returns because Tim Burton refused to go back to London.
Oh my God.
For the second Batman movie, Tim Burton's like, I'm not going back to England. we're building it here. And here, perfect storm. See, they put George Clooney's boat in there, and everything else was, they fixed it in post.
Yes.
So yeah, that is stage 16. It is a beast. And if you notice the Warner Brothers logo on it, apparently it had just been painted like within the last couple of weeks when you saw it. That is the latest version of the WB logo. It's
That's
the most
cool.
it's the most updated one. So like we were some of the first people to see it. So yeah, it was
What a
kind of
flex.
Fresh.
They had
Flex.
it. No, they hadn't even updated the logo on the outside of the studio, so it was neat. It was neat to see. Okay, so there's a little break.
Of course.
There is a coffee shop. Nah, it's
Of course.
literally a coffee shop. It says Central Perk. It's not the actual Central Perk, of course.
Of course
Oh,
it had to be
Gunther's not
Central Perk.
serving you coffee. Boo.
No, you have college kids on
Ah.
their summer break doing work.
Hey, if
And
I were if I
not
were in
pining after
college,
Rachel.
I would definitely love to like work there for like summer or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you wouldn't know who you'd be serving coffee to as types of tourists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's Central Perk.
Or they probably, get coffee for them.
Not the actual Central Perk, the coffee shop. So, oh my God.
Who the
I,
fuck?
I have no, I don't know. I don't know who that.
Oh my God!
Who the fuck is that?
This is a horror movie. Huh.
Wait, are there two people in there?
This is the one.
No, there's somebody on top of her.
Or him,
What?
whatever.
No.
Wait,
Oh shit, there are two people.
What the hell? Why are there people in the coffee beans?
is that a reflection?
It's a reflection. It's a reflection. Because you
Yeah,
can
but-
see it through the green.
why
bar,
are they
What the
side-
fuck?
But
And how?
I don't know. Also, I didn't know the coffee from Central Perk came from coffee bean and tea leaf.
I see.
Huh.
Anyways,
Oh.
What is that?
Kind of broke it kind of shattered the image now.
I'm so sorry.
Coffee bean
While we
and
were
tea.
on this break, we were on a break.
Nice.
That's also where the Friends coffee shop is. So you take a break in the middle of your tour. You'd get your coffee, get some water, buy some merch.
Man, the
of course.
shirts look good.
And the production design of the gift shop is kind of cool because look at this set. You can take
They
pictures
named
on it.
Stuff after the character.
Oh.
Yep, that's what's on the menu. The Joey mango cold brew tea.
Ooh, the Monica sounds good.
I'm not surprised that the Monica is the Monica. For
I
some
love the
reason.
Ross.
Nobody
Classic
loves
flat
Ross.
white. Classic flat white. Yes.
That's perfect though.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I am on board for that. Yes.
Yeah.
The
True
Chandler
Ross.
is my drink of choice, though.
Caramel hazelnut latte.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm
Mm.
more of the Rachel sometimes. I've been really into matcha lately.
No, man, the Monica is what I would drink in the morning, and then the Chandler would be what I would drink for dessert.
I do want to try the Joey though. It sounds good.
Why is there no
Mango
love for Phoebe? Cookies and cream is awesome.
cold
Nah.
brew. Mm.
Screw you guys. But yeah, a lot of love and care went into this gift shop. Like, look at this. You can browse t-shirts while sitting on the couch.
Is that a working
I'm
TV?
sorry. I feel
It's a
like
working TV.
I'm still there in the
Oh.
drinks. I'm sorry. I think
Okay, I'm going to the drinks. Here we go. I'm back.
I actually thought Phoebe would be more of the fruity one because she's all about being organic and vegan and whatever,
Good point.
as a hippie. Why is she cookies and cream? That should be the Joey.
Yeah, Joey
should
should be a
switch.
cookies and cream.
They
No,
should
if it was
actually
Joey,
switch.
If it was Joey, it should be like, some variant of peaches and cream. Like a
They
dirty
made him a
variant of
mango
peach.
cold brew. I don't think Joey should be a mango cold brew.
I think Phoebe should one of those nice teas or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
Moving on. So yeah, look at that. See, the t-shirts are all there in the corner. So you can look at the shirts or you can crash on the couch and take pictures. I'm just going to say right now, it was impossible to get these pictures because people just kept flopping down on the couch or sitting at the table.
How did you take this photo with nobody on it?
with great difficulty, trial and error. The next area is where you'll find heroes in action. So after the Friends gift shop, after your little water and coffee and gift shop break, you get on another tram and it takes you here where you see heroes and magic.
This image is so fucking cool, except for Newt Scamander. Why is there no love for
I
Ron?
know. I was gonna say that should
Why
be Ron.
is there no love for Ron Weasley?
I know that should
Dude
totally
straight up
be Ron.
saves Harry Potter, playing wizard chess.
Mhm.
I'm going to say franchise management. They have to give him a nod. We don't have to like Newt Scamander.
I don't
Nobody
like the
likes Newt Scamander.
franchise. I mean, that part of the franchise in general.
Yeah. I mean, Eddie Redmayne's amazing.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
great.
You know,
He's a great actor, but at some point it stopped being about him. It started becoming like the untold love story of Dumbledore.
Yeah. I mean,
which ended in a very very underwhelming manner.
it's exactly how The Hobbit was to Lord of the Rings.
Oh my
You know,
god.
Yes.
It's these shitty prequels. Anyway.
Anyway, moving on.
Big shout out to our friends at Warner Brothers who always invite us to their premieres. We love you guys. Thank you so much. With
We
all
love
due
you for the
respect
early
to,
access of Zack Snyder's Justice League and Peacemaker.
with all due respect to Wizarding World Adventures, we love them. Just not all of them. Moving on.
We love them for the most part.
Okay, so yeah, this is a badass entryway. And the only way I got this without anybody in it was I jumped off the tram first, basically. Because everybody was right behind me.
It's amazing. You jumped off at the you jumped off the tram first. You still got managed a very nice picture, without shakiness or like blurriness.
Yeah. Okay.
Skills.
So first up here in Heroes and Magic, you have the DC superhero area. You're greeted by a mock-up of the gates of Arkham Asylum with some of Batman's iconic foes on display,
Okay.
including
Joker's
Anjo's favorite, Mr. Freeze.
Oh, no,
Let's.
the costume is pretty cool. I mean, LED lights and all. The armor is pretty cool.
I want to
It's
play
supposed to
a
be
drinking game for every Batman reference where Anjo flashes his little car, since this is a very rare video episode. If you're watching along with us on YouTube,
Let's see
Take
how
a
long
shot.
it'll take him to get drunk.
take a shot whenever Anjo flashes his little Batmobile.
What about if it's a big car?
it's the
Oh my god!
It's a big one.
Oh my
Take
god.
a lion shot then.
Anyway, sorry.
So yeah, the Mr. Freeze outfit was in a very painful movie, which I still enjoy on some guilty level. That Mr. Freeze suit is actually made of something like 1,000 pieces of hand hammered metal. They got like real blacksmiths to make it, and I feel
How
bad for
heavy is that
everybody.
suit?
That's why they had to put Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. No one,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
figured
it
nobody
makes
else
sense.
could move.
No one else.
Mm.
So also in the superhero area, we got the new Batmobile was parked up in front. That was
That
neat.
looks so badass.
You're not allowed to drive it, Anjo. No, you can't drive the
Oh.
Batmobile.
That makes
So
me
yeah,
sad.
the Pattinson Batmobile was there. It looked really cool. I took shots of the interior and I got told off because you're not supposed to lean on the car. They don't care if you're taking pictures. Do not touch the car. It's still a museum, guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I got pictures of the inside. It's really
the
neat.
inside was so good.
Mhm.
What are those numbers for in the
It's
back?
for when they have to go back in time.
Yes.
Yes.
Back to
that's-
the Future Mobile.
Yes, that's exactly
Yes.
what happened in that movie.
Crisscrossing franchises. Love it.
Sure. And then it wasn't the only Batmobile
the
that was parked
classic.
there. They had Michael Keaton's Batmobile from 1989, which is just, a turbocharged phallic symbol, but I love it still.
I wasn't
Why
going to
does it
say
look
anything.
gray?
Huh? It was just a light.
Uh,
But yes, I love this car.
wasn't that phallic symbol silver? If I
Eh,
remember correctly.
At some point,
Eh.
not even phallic. It's like... Anyway.
it goes all the way
Anyway.
around again and becomes feminine at some point.
Anyway.
And
Hmm.
Batman was basically just using this whole place as a parking lot because here's Christian Bale's Bat Pod. Like, seriously. And it was next to Christian Bale's wardrobe.
And Misha.
And Misha!
I'm so sorry. I was a happy fanboy. I'm not even going to hide it. I'm not
Of
even
course
going to
you
deny it.
I
were.
mean, like, look at that smile. It's from ear to ear. I probably would be smiling the same way.
Because it was cool. It's Christian Bale's closet.
Did you
And
get to type
here's
anything
some-
of that high-tech thing?
And it's just neat, when you get to look at the costumes up close and you see how much work and detail and effort was put into these things. And can I just say that Zoe Kravitz is tiny? Like, she's hella tiny.
Hmm.
Like, seriously, that Catwoman outfit is really, really tiny. And the Pattinson Batsuit just looks really cool up close, actually.
It does.
Let's see.
Look at that.
Oh,
It's just
here's your villains.
so much.
Anjo. There's your favorite, Mr. Freeze. And Heath
Oh.
Ledger's Joker. And Paul Dano's questionable Riddler, king of the incels. And the least effort costume ever in one of these movies.
True.
And and there's Shazam. They didn't have to do
no
this.
padding.
Sure, no padding. They didn't have to do this, but something else that I appreciated was the Warner Brothers studio team made mannequins that actually looked like the actors who were playing these characters.
I know.
It's a nice touch.
It is.
It's a nice
It's
touch.
kind of cool.
They got this little eyebrow thing going on. I love
And you
it.
smirk.
I know.
And
Shazam
for
smirk.
old school fans, here's like the original Wonder Woman from the 70s, Superman from Christopher Reeves in the 70s, and Michael Keaton from the 80s.
Man, Michael Keaton is small.
I know, right?
It's
Look at me,
okay.
like if you compare the shoulder height to Wonder Woman and Superman, and he's small.
Yeah.
He's wearing Jordans though for the Batman. No, that's the second movie. Jordan
Mhm.
6s.
Yeah, this is the outfit from the first movie.
Yeah.
But it's funny you should say that about his height because that's the same thing people in the 80s said when it was announced that the guy who directed Pee Wee Herman and Beetlejuice was making a Batman movie starring a comedian who wasn't even 6 feet tall. So people were really upset. They sent thousands of letters to Warner Brothers complaining that Michael Keaton should not be Batman. Don't make
Letters,
Mr.
pa.
Mom Batman. Letters.
Letters.
Yeah, Twitter wasn't a thing yet.
Twitter
so-
wasn't a thing. Email
but
wasn't
imagine
a
if
thing.
it was. But
Ooh.
in a lot of ways, that's why it was a good thing that Tim Burton shot the first Batman movie in England because it meant that he was able to get away from all that negative publicity. The internet wasn't around yet, so people could be talking shit about you halfway across the world and you didn't have to listen to it.
I wish people still had that luxury.
Now you can be shooting on the moon, but you'd still know about it.
Yeah, probably. So
Twitter.
here's some close-up shots with Linda Carter's outfit, Superman's, Christopher Reeve, and Michael Keaton. See, even the
They
the
got
mannequin
the
and the
lips.
mask.
Yeah.
I know.
They got
I
the
was like,
lips down pat.
I don't know why they would go to that effort, but I appreciate that they did.
Yeah, I appreciate
And
it.
then if you look around the
That's
corner,
so cool.
if you look around the corner, there's some Dumbledore stuff, Secrets of Dumbledore, because that was the most
Okay.
current movie at the time.
Okay.
I took one obligatory photo before moving on.
Mhm.
I didn't get any
Okay,
detail shots.
even if you
This
hated
is
the
it.
movies, the costumes are still cool.
Yeah.
Yes, they were fine. Yes,
Looking at the costumes, they're still pretty cool. Movies,
Yes.
not so cool.
and I laughed when they escaped that scorpion crab thing and with the little dance.
That was pretty funny.
You know,
But that's it.
it was the only part of a Fantastic Beasts movie where the Fantastic Beast had anything to do with anything, because the wizard Bambi that decides wizard democracy was not doing it for me.
No. Cute, but we've seen Bambi.
Just
Yeah,
watch
sure.
Bambi.
But it's okay because after Secrets of Dumbledore, you get to the good Harry Potter movies.
Yay!
So yeah, they
The
have
letter!
a pair. They have a pair of Harry
glasses.
spectacles. They
How-
have one of the
how-
acceptance letters.
How
Wait
many
for
of
it to
Harry's
dry.
glasses and wands has Daniel Radcliffe gone through? Like, I heard he broke a lot of the wands and the glasses.
What was he doing with his wand that he would break
He
it?
would.
I mean, did you see the stunts?
He would play them like drumsticks.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
if you're
Okay.
an 11-year-old
Stuff around.
kid, you probably would too. I probably would.
I would too. I'm not
Okay,
even
fine.
a drummer.
So the bulk of the Harry Potter sets are actually in England, but they flew across a few items to Hollywood so that they could make it part of the tour here. So here you see one of the acceptance letters, the invitation to Hogwarts, complete with the envelope, a pair of Daniel Radcliffe's glasses, and the cupboard under the stairs.
Misha!
I'm not apologizing for that. Screw you guys.
Oh my god!
I don't know why I share things with you
It's
people.
like a horror
honestly.
movie.
You're a horror movie. But I was surprised, can I just say? Because I was inside that cupboard. Number one, it's kind of small. Of course it is. But it's also got like actual cleaning products on the inside. So I'm like, it's stuff that you might not necessarily ever see, but they make every little bit as detailed as they can, just in case the cinematographer wants to put a camera in there, just in case the director needs a shot of Harry, crying in his sleep. You're gonna see the drain cleaner and the grout remover and the
Aw.
glass cleaner all there. There's even
That's-
a bucket with a mop in there. The details is crazy.
That's detailed.
Misha. Like, could you
Attention to
stand
detail.
upright under
Yeah, I
there?
can
No,
stand.
diba? Okay.
No, you can kind of stand, but you have to bend over a little bit. Look, it goes about as high as the angle of the staircase.
Yeah,
Mm.
but then again, we're talking about Daniel Radcliffe, who was
Who was
not
like
exactly the
10.
tallest dude.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like he was 10 at the time, but yeah, adult size Daniel
This
Radcliffe.
is true.
Not much of a
Adult-
difference.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
Yep.
He had
And
no
now
growth spurt.
There's no magic there.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. The next one is something that Deng has told me off for more than once because it's really stupid what I'm attempting. It's the same thing that Harry tried, so I'm not even going to try and defend it because Deng's right. You really should just pick it up. You should just pick one up from the ground. You don't try and jump for one of these things that are flying everywhere.
It's more cinematic that way, and it makes a good photo.
Exactly. Yes, it does.
Makes a good
I
shot.
love how much effort you put into posing
I know.
and in the magical photos that you've had.
Mhm.
And yet, I still haven't been accepted to Hogwarts.
yeah.
It is what
Maybe
it
it's
is.
because you went for the flying ones and not the ones on the floor.
Yep. That's why Daniel get in long before me. Moving on, there are a couple of other photo op areas here in the Hattie Potter, in the Harry Potter section. Hattie, a new franchise starring a female wizard. No, it's Harry Potter. Freaking out.
Was that Dobby somewhere in the side? Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
this Dobby.
Yes, they had one of the photo reference Dobbies. Dobby was CGI in the actual movie, but on set they had a full-sized mock-up of the creature, of the elf. of the house elf. So they would see how light would bounce off as they use it as reference, basically, and also so people would know how high they were supposed to be looking when they were talking to him.
Hmm.
But
Dobby's
yes.
judging you.
Dobby would pick it up from the ground. So there's a couple of other photo op areas. Here's one. It's the greenhouse.
The greenhouse.
Yes, you can pull out the mandrakes, and yes, they sound terrible.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I want to see. Do you have photos of that?
I do, but I think it'll be more fun if I post a video in our
Yes.
Facebook group, Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies. Check it out, where we post all sorts of ridiculous content, memes, and one or two exclusives. So yes, please like, subscribe, and follow.
Smooth.
Got you. But yes, mandrakes. Okay. There's also the potions class.
That's so cool.
Ooh, do they show you the book with page 394?
There's all sorts of stuff out there, but no, I
So
didn't
cool.
notice the book. But yes, it was fun. My mother had fun with this. She looked like she was giving a cooking class, actually, in her photo. But yes.
It's like a
cauldrons.
creepy science class. Like,
Yes.
ugh.
That's so cool.
I miss Alan Rickman.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So here's more of the potions. And now we're up to animation. I'm so sorry. Warner Brothers, of course. In addition
it had to be a frog.
I'm trying to get through this, Anjo. Whatever are you implying?
Context, I am deathly afraid of frogs. I mean,
Even a singing and dancing
frog.
one? Come on, it's friendly.
it still grosses me out, okay?
But it's a friendly singing and dancing frog.
Mm.
He snuck it in there. I can't believe Misha snuck a frog in the presentation.
This was
Asshole.
so Warner
Wow.
Brothers in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, in addition to a number of highly acclaimed musicals, dramas, gangster flicks, they made their name on animation. The most famous of which, of course, were the Merry Melodies and the Looney Tunes. And this character, Michigan J. Frog, actually became the mascot of Warner Brothers' dedicated channel, the WB, back in the 90s.
Yes, I
You know it-
remember,
You know it now as the
unfortunately.
CW, where all the Arrowverse shows were, Teen Wolf, Riverdale, all that stuff. And yes, their mascot was Michigan J. Frog.
Yay.
It's just cool seeing these things. Seeing hand-painted physical pieces of animation in this day and age when everything's digital. So these are like drawn and painted on acetate, and you have to do like 24 of these to make 1 second of footage, and it was just magic. And the fact that you could see these pieces of that magic on display, and these things are like as old as our grandparents at this point, it was just incredible.
Wow.
So here's the original
man.
pencils before they get inked,
This is,
before they get painted.
Chuck,
Chuck
there's the name.
Jones. Yeah, it's
Chuck
there.
Jones, there you go.
So they had samples of Bugs
Yeah.
Bunny. You see how each animator and director rendered them in different styles. Fritz Freeling's style was a little more elegant, while Chuck Jones was a little bit more angular. Chuck Jones, of course, also led the animation on stuff like how the Grinch Stole Christmas. There's just so much history here, and I can't even describe what it was like to see this stuff up close. They also had some Hanna-Barbera stuff because Warner Brothers bought the Hanna-Barbera library back in the 90s when Turner was starting up Cartoon Network. So they needed a lot of content. So what they did was the company that owned them, they bought the Hanna-Barbera library. That's why if you were watching Cartoon Network in the 90s, it was all Scooby-Doo and Flintstones and, Wacky
Jetsons.
Races.
The Jetsons.
Jetsons, yes.
Mm.
And if you look at this cell, this has got one of their infamous Hanna-Barbera backgrounds in the back, the ones that would just keep cycling over and over to
Yep.
save money. And it's actually signed by the creators, Bill Hanna and Joe Barbera, there at the
Aw.
bottom. So that is just amazing.
Cute.
And so here's a model sheet from Scooby-Doo where you saw exactly what mix of paint to make each of their colors
Wow.
and their
Those
relative
meddling
heights.
kids in that mangy mud.
When they were designing Scooby Doo, the animators basically looked at a book of all the best traits to find in a Great Dane. Like, what do you need in a Great Dane to win a dog show? And then they did the opposite of all those things to design Scooby Doo. So he slouches, his legs are funny, his ears are wonky, his eyes aren't straight, his tail goes all everywhere. Basically, Scooby Doo is never going to win a dog show.
But he's gonna
But he
solve
wins our
mysteries
And
and
here's
saves
one.
the day.
Here's one for the Jetsons. This is just so
Astro.
neat, because these are real things you can see and touch. Well, don't touch them; you'll get thrown out. But
But
they were there.
yeah, but it's just so interesting to me to like see all the color references they have, because it's not as easy as, let's say, in a computer program just saving these on presets. They really have to like mix all the colors and everything because they did it by hand. It's just so interesting. Like, yeah, they would have these references. It's so cool.
There's so
And-
many nuances you wouldn't think about if you weren't an
Yeah.
animator, right? It's amazing.
And
The
here
Iron
we have-
Giant,
Yep, we have some
Vin
concept
Diesel's
art.
other superhero role.
Also limited vocabulary, but yeah, that's Vin Diesel in general. So,
Uh,
Yeah, well,
so this is the
Corona,
Iron Giant.
Family, Groot.
And this is a more modern take on Bugs Bunny, if you notice, compared to the ones earlier, because this is one of the ones that was done for Space Jam.
yeah, I noticed
That-
too.
Wonderful gangster flick that you mentioned earlier.
That little side eye, that's very modern. It's like not like one of the earlier ones.
And these
Oh.
are the storyboards for the opening sequence of Batman the Animated Series.
If I had that framed in my room, that would mean
I would rob
made
your
it.
house.
I would have like the most expensive security system installed to protect that frame if I had that in my house.
The Batman the Animated Series was a cartoon that started in 1992 based off of the success of the original Tim Burton films. And it was the first animated show, one of the first that took things seriously. Like the bad guys shot bullets. It was like one of the first cartoons to do that. They didn't shoot lasers like every other cartoon did in the 80s. They could show people dying. They could show, Batman the way that we enjoyed him in the comic books for years. This has nothing to do with the campiness of the 60s and the 70s, as much as those are beloved now. This was the first real pure take on Batman as close to the comics as we've ever seen. And I honestly don't think it's been topped since, except, the closest that you've gotten live action would be The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger's Joker, which I enjoy. And something that was neat about the animated series was it kicked off a whole universe. After Batman, the animated series came Superman, Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited. All of those shows were set in the same continuity. And the voice actors from this show still voice their characters today. Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, still does his Joker voice for video games, for the odd animated movie. And Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman here, we never really saw him in live action again. He used to do soap operas and stuff, but he became so identified with Batman, he just never had to stop doing it anymore. And recently, his Pride story was actually released in a compilation during Pride Month, actually. So yeah, our favorite Batman is actually gay himself.
Yay.
But, he's such a good actor, you don't care. And something that was neat about the animated series also was that they actually painted it on black paper because they said, the hell if we're going to draw all those shadows.
Oh yeah, dude. You're gonna
That makes
waste a
sense.
shit ton of ink.
Yep, because like the thing would took place at night most of the time. So they're like, screw that. We're going to take a shot. We're going to draw this on black paper. And when I said that Warner Brothers
Ooh, Crazy Rich
celebrates their
Asians.
history,
Wow.
that means they archive everything.
Wow.
Their
Damn.
costume department has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of costumes, all in storage, ready to be used at a moment's notice. That, again, any studio can rent, basically, if they need them for a shoot.
Cool.
So you can choose by genre, by time period, by fabric, by color palette. Like the Warner Brothers costume archive is insane.
Wow.
So some of the samples that we have on display here are from Crazy Rich Asians. If you
That's
look,
insane.
they even put some effort in the display. If you remember the wedding scene, the church was like flooded on purpose. So here they put it on a reflective base to make it look like water.
Yeah, that's so extra.
So that wedding was just, I don't know.
Like, you don't even have to go through that extra mile for just like the displays of these, but then they do, which is pretty cool.
That's amazing.
I know. Actually, now that you mentioned, I'm wondering why these mannequins don't have the actors' faces, but
all right. Maybe, I don't know, it's still recent. Maybe they'll get to it eventually.
They also have costumes from their TV shows.
The flight attendant.
Yep. These are some of Penny's outfits. Penny's outfits.
Kelly Cuoco.
Sure. Penny's outfits from the flight attendant were also on display. And there's some more of that extra set dressing. If you can see, they got those little airplanes all along the walls, hanging from the ceiling. And then they also had these guys from the Arrowverse.
CW.
So they had Green Arrow,
the
had
frog
Flash,
mascot,
and Supergirl. And even historical stuff, like the actual piano used from Casablanca. I mean,
cool.
Seriously. And Ingrid Bergman's outfit, like seriously, you would not expect that outfit's like 70, 80 years old at this point, but it looks as fresh as the day that you saw it on the big screen in Casablanca.
How do they, is this behind glass or is it just there?
No, that's just there.
Damn.
They cycle the displays. They cycle the displays because you can't leave this stuff out too long because it'll deteriorate.
Yeah.
But
so they maintain it.
What we saw was fantastic, honestly. They have like actual curators who work on preserving these things and making sure that they stay in tip-top shape. So if ever they have to display them, they don't do stupid things like lend them to people to wear to the Met Gala because that's just stupid.
Oh my God, that was a mistake.
Seriously, though. These things are artifacts. They're part of history. And as Hollywood goes increasingly digital, there will be fewer and fewer of these things for us to see, to touch, to experience. But I like that Warner Brothers makes it a priority to really give you a chance to, see these things in a context that lets you appreciate them for what they are. And it's just overwhelming for a movie nerd, honestly. Here's Audrey Hepburn and Rex Harrison's outfits from My Fair Lady. From 1964, and they're there. These are things that you've seen on TV, you've seen in movies, and they're real. And that's the most amazing thing about it, I guess. In that it's not just theoretical anymore. I mean, like in the back of your head, you figure there's a costume, but you didn't think that you'd still be there 60 years later for you to see it on a Sunday.
And if you're like a huge fan of whoever wore these costumes, you're like, the essence of, let's say, Henry Cavill or like Zachary Levi. They have worn this. But anyway.
I like how you singled out those two Supermen.
Fine. Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe
Kravitz. Here's some more Crazy Rich Asians.
Aquafina.
I kind of like her pajamas.
Hey, it's pretty cool. I want those pajamas.
Yes, dogs. Dogs are awesome.
They look so comfy.
I never noticed those little fruit pillows.
Yes.
Maybe now I want them. Now I want pillows like that.
I'm going to try and rewatch and see if... Yeah. I want to spot those in the movie.
But what you said earlier, again, my extra, like they didn't need a mannequin that was cross-legged, but they found one. So, good stuff. So, yeah. And then there's Gaga's outfit from A Star Is Born. Along with some of her props. And so the things at the studio archives are not just the outfits, but even key props from their films. In this case, you see some of Allie's personal items from the film, from her wedding day and her day-to-day outfits. And they had props here that honestly I never thought that I would see in person in my life. Like apparently Jack Warner, the former head of the studio, the one who famously screwed his brothers out of their shares and took over the whole thing, he was not a nice man. Sorry. But every movie they produced while he was still the president, he forced them to give him a hardbound copy of the script so he would review it. And Yeah, he was the one who decided what movies got made and which ones didn't.
Oh
Other
my
props that
God.
they have, these are from Argo. These are the
No,
ID tags. The
Argo.
CIA ID tags of Walter White and Batman.
Walter White and Batman.
My first thought, because I saw Walter White's first. I was like, that's not Walter White. And then, oh, it's from Argo. And I saw Ben Affleck. Okay.
Mhm.
Bryan
Yep.
Cranston.
But here again, you see the level of detail
Wait,
that goes
they
into
have
these things. Details that you would never see on a movie screen. It's just costume detail.
Why do
but
they expire on the same day?
That is rather suspicious. Maybe they renewed them at the same time. But good catch.
Yeah. I will.
Maybe it's
I
like
will
the
give them
stickers of
credit
getting
for
into a
having-
village.
Probably, or I mean, like they are CIA, so
Mhm. Okay. And
you're
then
only an asset until you're.
No.
Skip this. Skip this.
it's the
Skip
crucifix
it.
from The Exorcist.
Skip it. Skip it.
It's a bit
Skip
fuzzy
it.
because I didn't want to get close. But
Of
yep,
course
it's
you
up there.
don't.
It's
I
there.
would not.
They also had the cast.
Oh, the Lego movie!
They had the cast of one of
Everything
my
is
favorite
awesome.
movies. Now this was behind glass. I think because this would be too easy to lose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yes, I love that they were there.
Bro,
My
I'm not over
my
the
friend was
Exorcist
building Lego
crucifix,
sets
though.
in a plane with this kid. So
No,
I
why
wouldn't
do
know
you
why
do
he-
that? Why do you make it flash like that?
Next!
It's so creepy.
No, not the Exorcist cross.
Fine,
Oh.
fine, fine. Okay,
It's even
fine.
scarier that you keep going back to it fast. Just because they had those split-second frames in the movie itself.
Fine,
Don't do it.
fine. So here's the roommate agreement from The Big Bang Theory that Sheldon subjected Leonard to for all of
Mhm.
those years.
Well, that's how you spell Hofstadter.
Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the show, and
me neither.
I think that's obvious. When I took my photo up on the actual set, I was not amused. The photographer thought I was doing a bit.
Well,
But
you
no,
should have sat on Sheldon's side, like, look where I'm sitting, bitch. I took your spot.
You could have taken that Stormtrooper look, though.
To be fair, the collectibles on the shelves were real, and apparently they update them every season.
Yes.
They really go into actual collectible stores and find stuff to put there. So there's like
Mhm.
Halo. There's a Halo helmet back there. There's that Luke Skywalker. There's an Alex Ross Superman statue somewhere. Yeah, it was.
I remember the comic books they would be bringing onto the show. They are updated every episode. It's like, oh, you look at them. They're all the new ones.
Pro tip: if you're taking a picture in the Big Bang Theory living room or any of the photo op areas, and where there is a dedicated photographer, they will happily take your picture using the official camera. You don't have to buy the photo that gets printed at the end of the tour, but don't ask them to take your photo using your camera.
They charge
will
you
let you.
extra?
No, they will let you pose. Go ahead, take as many as you want. Their job is just to take the picture with the official camera, but they can't stop you from taking your own shots. So
Uh-huh.
if you don't want to spend for the souvenir, it's a little workaround. Just make sure you have somebody who'll take the shot for you.
Okay.
Clearly, I was not amused the more I saw of this show's sets.
Penny.
So here's Penny's door
Knock, knock,
and
knock,
the
Penny.
elevator that never worked.
Knock, knock,
You're
knock,
just
Penny.
mad because you got to take the stair. Yeah, because you had to.
That
take the
staircase
stairs.
doesn't go anywhere. It's a dead end up there.
Maybe that's why you're mad.
Apparently, like, they would use the same set for every single floor. They would just remove the police tape, the
numbers.
caution tape on the elevator, change the numbers on the doors, change the painting on the wall, and then pretend it was a whole other floor whenever they had to. Now, as for shows I actually like, this happened too. I was on the actual set of Central Perk. That was great.
Ooh.
It's a lot bigger than it looks on TV, surprisingly, which is apparently the case for a lot of sitcoms because they need room to position the camera.
Mhm.
So just as the camera can fool you into thinking a space is bigger than it looks, bigger than it actually is, it can also make big sets look smaller. So sitcom houses are huge. When we went on the set of the Goldbergs, I was like, this living room is ridiculously huge. But that's because they need room for the cameras and for the crew to move around. But when they shoot it and they edit it all together, it looks like a regular sized house.
Hmm.
So I'm telling you, Central Perk was freaking huge. This is the only shot of my mother in this entire presentation. I apologize to her for
Aw,
anyone who
cute.
tells her that
Hi,
this
tita.
exists. But seriously,
So
look how
cute.
tiny we are on that couch.
Ooh, wait. This is where BTS surprised some fans too.
BTS did not surprise me. You would have heard by now.
Like on one of the late night shows, I forgot which Jimmy or whatever that was in. But yeah.
Which Jimmy?
Yeah, no, you can take your pick. But yeah, that's also where Jennifer Aniston and Ellen hid behind the couch, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
surprised people
Yeah.
also. But yes, we took pictures all over this thing next to the window. My mother stood in Gunther's spot. I don't know why she
Oh.
felt the need to do that, but yeah, I mean, the set's huge. It just looks like people sized on TV.
Yeah.
But in actuality, it's really big.
Interesting.
And
Now I wonder how
off to the
big
side.
Monica's apartment was.
I don't know. I only saw the mock-up. But here on one wall, next to the coffee shop, next to Central Perk, we have copies of the first and the last scripts from Friends. So you see, when it was still called 6 of 1 before they decided to call it Friends,
Mm-mm.
and they got everybody to sign it. So I just thought it was sweet.
So freaking cool.
Mm-hmm. And then
The
Phoebe's guitar is on display. I have been asked, how do you know it's really Phoebe's guitar? I'm like, because the sign says so. And they're like, how do you know that that's really it? Because the sign says so. What if the sign is lying? Because the sign says so. So I don't know. Take from it what you will.
Cool,
Okay. We're almost done. If you're still with us. This is me again with a show I actually like.
cool.
So it's Monica's Door. It's not the actual one. This is the one in the gift shop, but it looks real. And then, of course, at the end of every tour, they take you to the gift shop where you can get your DC merch, your Warner Brothers merch, Harry Potter, and there are other shows. There's like some Ted Lasso stuff there.
Oh my god, that Ted Lasso stuff.
I
No!
know. I couldn't afford it anymore.
Ah!
We
Love
did
Ted
LA
Lasso.
towards the end of our trip, so I really had no more money. I am so sorry. But I will leave you with this visual of a ginormous Tri-Wizard cup at Starbucks.
Wow.
I don't know why there's a ginormous Tri-Wizard cup at the Warner Brothers Starbucks. It makes sense somehow, I guess.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
No, but I'd like a double shot ice shaken chocolate latte, please.
Maybe that's to remind the baristas to put your name on the cups.
It is possible. But
Can you put
yes.
the name on the cup?
But yeah, why was Dumbledore so angry? Because he wasn't super angry in the book, but he was like mental in the movie.
Because he never read the books. He refused to read the books.
Oh well, yeah. New Dumbledore was weird. Old Dumbledore, you could buy the whole nice, kindly, whimsical uncle, grand uncle person.
Also, Richard Harris could have been, drunk on set.
Usually, yeah. But the new Dumbledore was not my cup of tea. I kind of like
You
young and
say
sexy
this-
Dumbledore. Does that count? I don't know.
You say this while we're on a Starbucks photo, not your cup of tea.
Fine. But yes, ginormous Tri-Wizard cup.
Oh.
So yes,
That's so random.
that was my 5 hours at Warner Brothers
Yay.
Studios, and I thank you guys for indulging me and going all the way through it. It was ridiculous. And just before anybody asks, yes, I did get my shot
Oh
with
my
that stupid
God.
fountain.
Yes, I love
course
how
you
you ended
did.
with this.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Okay, I just have one question.
Yes.
now.
I'm leaving
How
it here.
hard how hard was it to condense 5 hours of glorious historical, cinematic history? How hard was it to condense it in this presentation?
Dude, there is so much that I didn't even get to put in here. I just chose like highlights from each one. There was like this whole section that had like the miniatures used in sci-fi movies and some of the Batman movies. So like there was a Batmobile there that was bigger than yours. There was a section where you could play with motion capture. So like I was waving my arms, and
Oh,
Dobby
that
on the
was so
screen was
cool.
waving his arms. There was a bit where my mother and I we did the forced perspective thing from the Lord of the Rings movies. So like she sits like on the front half of a table next to the camera, and I sat at the far end, but it looks like on the camera, because the camera has no depth perception,
Yeah.
it looks like it's one table. So I was
You
like,
look like a
I was a
hobbit.
tiny hobbit, and
You
my
were the
mother was
hobbit,
like,
Misha.
my mother was Gandalf. Yes,
Oh,
it
and
was
to,
fun.
and to think we were like, "Ooh, Misha, go through all of the places you went to." It's like, nope.
No, I can't. I take pictures like a crazy person. I found out on this trip that yes, I really do like taking pictures of everything.
Mhm.
And in the case of these studio tours and the movie stuff and the museums, I'm glad I did, because now I get to share them with you
I-
guys.
I'm just so happy you did.
I'm so jealous.
Too. I'm just gonna try and figure out when I can plan my LA trip for this, just
I
for the Warner
know,
Brothers trip.
I know. It looks
Yes.
amazing. Go back to the
Probably
gift
spending
shop. I
money
want to
on
see
food
what I
and
want to
the
buy.
merch.
Go.
Same,
Yes.
same.
What do I wanna
buy?
I didn't take pictures of the Harry Potter robes and things because right after this we went to Universal Studios, and we actually went to freaking Hogwarts. So if you guys want to see another episode, I will happily show you that, and the robes and the merch and the wands. God.
I have a question. Is that the Gilmore Girls section
Where?
in the back?
Yes.
Behind the,
Yes, it is.
what could you buy from the Gilmore Girls section? I'm just curious.
They
I'm
had-
just curious.
They had teapots, they had towels,
Makes
they
sense.
had pillows, they had t-shirts.
The teapots make sense.
If you look there at the back, mounted on the wall on the upper right side, those are in-universe shirts. So you can get like logos of the companies and
Girl.
you can get logos of the shows and the companies on the shows. So they're like a more subtle way of nerding out if you don't want to look like a
Yeah.
walking billboard.
Like the Star Lab shirt, you can get those from there.
Yep. It was just good stuff. I really wanted some Ted Lasso stuff, but I really had no more money at the end of this trip.
Man, that Team Lasso hoodie, the gray one, looks so good.
Did you see this year's FIFA? This year's FIFA game.
Yes, the team is on
We have
it.
the
The
Ted
team is
Lasso
on FIFA. That's why I'm buying FIFA this year, just because of Ted Lasso.
I know, I'm so happy.
I get to play as Danny Rojas. You know?
Football is
Score goals
live.
as Danny Rojas.
Football is
Oh.
live.
Football is live.
And on
Ooh,
this
I
side, you
want
got more
that
of your
dress.
DC stuff with Batman and Robin on it.
Yeah, why not?
It's
Ooh.
cute, actually.
Oh my
I
God, they
actually
have
want
the
that
full
polo
color
shirt, too.
spectrum for the
Mhm,
Green
mhm.
Lanterns.
And on the wall, you have your superhero logo shirts. So yeah, it was just crazy. It was crazy seeing all these
That's
things.
insane.
Mhm.
That's insane.
So,
Oh, I
mabibili
want that button-down shirt. Look at that. It's Batman and Robin.
So yung mga logo, mabibili mo lang sa Green Hills yan eh.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm sure it's cooler to like actually buy something from there.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I want a mug.
I'm not gonna lie. I had fun doing these nerd things with my mother, but honestly, I wish that I had Dang with me or I had you guys with me, because we would have just gone nuts over everything. Really.
Oh my God, we would be
If
the
it
most
was us-
annoying people on the tour.
If it were us, I think that 5 hours would have extended to like 7.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
And we'd like take really stupid photos of each other. And I mean, like, each of us would have a turn, and then we just like keep like
Then
thinking of like stupid scenarios.
each of us would have a turn, and then there would be a duo, and then there would be a trio. So imagine how much time that would take.
Yeah.
and here's the thing: we took 5 hours on this tour. Like we went in, I think our slot was 9:30, and if you miss your slot, by the way, you can't get on the next one because they really do count.
There's
They
slots.
count heads because they can only put so many people on a tram.
Mm.
So our slot was at 9:30. We figured, we'll be out of here by lunchtime. No, by the time we got out, it was almost 3. Like, what the hell?
God damn it.
I mean, I would skip lunch to like really take my
Yep.
time around that.
Yeah.
Because after this, the reason we were in a hurry was we went straight to Universal Studios afterward, which is truly suicidal. Can I just say, never do that again. I'm never doing that again. Isasabay. That was just pushing our luck, but we were leaving in 2 days, and that was the only common
Yeah.
free day that me and my mother had. my mother and I had. So we just went for it. So
How many? How tired were you guys after? That's like that.
we
sounds
got
like an
to
insane
Universal
itinerary.
like just after 3. We got like just lemonade and a hot dog. Okay, that's lunch. Let's go. And then we got out of Universal like 10 minutes to closing time at 10 p.m. We were
Damn.
zombies. We were zombies.
Wow.
We were zombies. Seriously.
How many
On a-
salon pass patches did you have to put on your body after? Oh my god, that sounds so tiring.
it was, but it was worth it, and I'm glad that I was able to share it with my mom, and yes, I hope that one day I get to share it with you weirdos too.
Thank you so much, Misha, for sharing your adventures at the Warner Brothers Studios. And I had fun. I'm sure
Mhm.
we had fun.
had
And
fun.
yeah, so if you're listening right now and you see, or if you're watching over on YouTube, comment down below what was your favorite part, or if you want Misha to do a part 2, maybe you want to see Universal Studios, maybe you want to see wherever else that he went to, go comment down below on YouTube, or give us a shout out on our social media pages. We've got our Facebook group. Join Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies, the Facebook group. We've also got Instagram at sub_auteurs. So yeah, let us know. Maybe we'll have a part 2 and see more of Misha's nerdiness. But yes, this was fun video episode. You get to see our faces and this awesome slideshow that Misha prepared for us. So yeah, if you listened over on the podcast platforms, you might want to check this out on YouTube. And
Haha, you can't see anything.
oh, look at you making fun of it. But yeah, it's really worth checking out on YouTube. So if you can, just go click the link on the description.
All right.
Yay.
Thanks everyone. That was fun.
All right.
Thanks, Misha, for
Yes.
the slideshow.
Thank you,
For all
Misha.
this effort. It's amazing.
Yeah, so we'll see you again next time. If you want more episodes like this or whatever movie suggestions that you have for us, let us know on our social media platforms. And this has been my
I'm Misha.
and
I'm Anjo.
I
You
thought
almost weren't. You
I
almost
know,
wasn't.
I know. Almost got to experience the internet
like,
lags. Angela
Really? You
usually
waited till
does.
the end to screw up?
But yeah,
Internet lag.
yes.